So I'm going to perform task number 1, which is collecting a blood sample from our canine friend and preparing the serum and the plasma. So I have all my supplies right here. I have my alcohol, I have my 6cc syringe with a 22 gauge needle, I have my lavender top for the EDTA sample, I have a serum separator tube, I have a plasma separator tube, and I have another needle which I'll switch out after I collect my EDTA sample because I want a clean needle for my other tubes so that there's no residue of the EDTA. A pen to label my samples. So my assistant's just going to hold on to our patient. I'm going to do a jugular venipuncture to get my sample. Okay. So I'm just going to place my thumb down in the jugular groove. I'm going to feel for his vein. Put some alcohol. And then I'm going to loosen the cap of the needle. Stay bud, you're okay. There's no clog, so bevel up. I'm going to go into the jugular vein. Slowly pull back. Good boy. You're being so good. I know. Good boy. Who's such a good boy. I'm going to try to get the full 6 cc's if possible, which it looks like we're going to get. I'm going to put some pressure on, take out my needle. My assistant's going to keep holding his neck. Good job. So then I'm just going to take my sample. First thing I want to do is put my sample into the EDTA because we want this sample to not be clotted. And the plunger is slowly just going to suck the sample into the tube until it doesn't want anymore. Okay, so then I'm going to take out my needle and then we're going to invert it 4 to 6 times. And then I'll check it one more time just to make sure that we are not clotted. So we're not clotted, which is good. I'm just going to slide my needle back into the needle case and press down so I can safely remove that one. And I'm going to place on the 18 gauge needle to get my other samples. So again, I'm going to take off the cap, place it into my serum separator, and then I'm going to have a little bit of an extra sample, which is going to go into my serum separator. Okay, and I actually have a little bit of an extra sample, so I'll get another tube to fill for that one. But for right now, I'm going to take my pen, I'm going to label all my samples with the patient's name and the date. Name and the date and the name and the date. Alright, and then I'm going to check on my patient to make sure that he doesn't have any bleeding from his neck or any hematomas, which he does not. Good job. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lavender top in our extra blood bag in case we need it. I'm going to spin down the light green tube in the mini centrifuge over there, and then with my serum sample, I'm going to bring it over to our centrifuge over here, and I'm going to turn it upside down, resting with the other tubes, and we're going to let it sit for 30 minutes so that we can have the sample get clotted. So I have a timer here set for 30 minutes that I'm going to start. I'll keep it next to my sample, and after that clots for 30 minutes, I'll come down and spin the sample down. So that is part 1 of task 1, and I'll be back in a little bit.